SR93 Boxing. I'm back with a quick video. The Ytbc is mad at Amir Khan giving an opinion when he was asked about an opinion of the Danny Garcia Thurman fight. People are like, oh, why Amir Khan thinks it's relevant? Well, obviously someone's asking a question to him, therefore he's answering it. What do you want him to do? Ask him a question. You want the reporter to ask him a question, put a mic in front of him, and you just stand there, not say anything? I don't get you. Like, are you retarded? I don't get it, man. People buy into hype so much, man. You remember? Let me break down one thing. Let me go into what Amir Khan said. 78 Sports is mad. I think some other channels mad as well. Bear channels mad. Amir Khan basically said Danny Garcia would win. He also said Thurman has not been tested, and people are mad. Oh my God, he's not been. Man, come on, he hasn't been tested. And personally, in my opinion, the reason why I made this boxing channel, because I have a different opinion, very different opinion. To a lot of boxing channels, I felt like Sean Porter was overrated. I always felt like Sean Porter was overrated. In the mitts, he looked like he's strong. He looked like he can punch real hard. And he can punch real hard, but he smothers his punches, there's not a lot of technique to it. He beat Malanaji, who he lost his legs, man. He really lost his legs. And Paulie Malanaji was off his prime. And people were going hyped on with that knockdown. There was a knockout, that stoppage. Which, it was impressive because he's never been stopped like that. But it was not really too impressive to me. Let me explain this. Boxing is hype. People were on Amir Khan's dick when he was fighting at Collazo, Alexander. They were on Danny Garcia's dick when Garcia fought Matisse. And fighters can have a bad performance here and there and they get off their dicks. Everyone knew Khan would get knocked out by Canelo. Why? And why is it all of a sudden Khan a glass chin because Canelo knocked him out? Let me tell you something. There was one channel, and I'm not gonna criticize this channel. I don't like criticizing other channels too much. But this channel, because this particular channel, I tend to watch a lot, and he refers to Khan as a glass chin, which is okay, because as long as you've been consistent, if you look, I'll go on there, but let me just say this. So he described Khan as glass chin, and he was talking about the Canelo fight, the Khan Canelo fight. Like, as if Canelo would knock out pretty much any welterweight out there if he touched him, like if he touched them like he touched Khan. Then he goes on to talk about Danny Garcia and say, because Danny Garcia he said he would be willing to fight Canelo, and he says he'll beat Canelo. This boxing channel went on to say, if Garcia fights Canelo, the same shit would happen to him as it happened to Khan. So wait, Garcia has a good chin. He knows that. I know that. We know this, right? He has a better chin than Amir Khan. So how is it proof that Amir Khan has a glass chin that he got because he got knocked out by Canelo? And if Garcia has a better chin, which he does, and he gets knocked out by Canelo, what's the difference? So why is it proof? So why the fuck is that the fact that Khan gets knocked out by Canelo, and that's proof that he has a glass chin? That's ridiculous. You don't think Thurman will get knocked out by Canelo like that if he gets touched? Porter? Man, Thurman's never even faced a puncher, for fuck's sake. He hasn't been tested. Sean Porter should have lost to Julio Diaz in the first fight. But because he had hype, because he's this short guy, stocky, short, muscular guy who seems very quick. He's quick. I mean, he's coming in very aggressive. He's there's a lot of high work rate and shit, but he's smothering all of his punches, and Julio Diaz is getting off with harder, cleaner shots, just accurate shots on him. Sean Porter should have really lost that fight against Julio Diaz, but it went as a draw. Then Julio Diaz fought Amir Khan, which Khan got dropped once, and he got hurt, but Khan won the fight. Very close fight. He won the fight. How come Sean Porter doesn't get criticism for a draw, but with the same opponent that Amir Khan beat, but Amir Khan gets criticism for it? I don't get it. I don't get this shit. Like, Sean Porter's really overrated, and his best win was against a washed up Paulie Malanaji. Okay, tell me this. Who else was it? Okay, actually, no. His best win was against Devin Alexander. I give him that. He did beat Devin Alexander. That was his best win. But other than that, I do think Sean Porter's a good fighter. I think he's a good fighter, but he's not as good as people think he was. He's sloppy. I know some people in the YTBC commented to say, I'm not sold on Sean Porter. I think he's overrated, this and that. And he is overrated. Sloppy punches, fucking man, he's horrible. At times he's horrible, man. I think a lot of top fighters will beat him. Fans are mad at Keith. Fans are saying, "Oh, Amir Khan wants Danny Garcia because he would rather face Danny Garcia because he knows he can't beat Keith Thurman." What the fuck? If you think if Danny Garcia beats Keith Thurman and Khan faces Keith Thurman, do you know how retarded that is? Do you know how? If he look, here's the thing. This is the contradiction of these fans. They're saying this now, but if Garcia does beat Keith Thurman, and if Khan faces Keith Thurman, you'd be like, he's cherry picking Garcia. Keith Thurman is shit, and I actually think Keith Thurman will lose to Amir Khan. I said it. Amir Khan is a glass chin. How you figure that? Right? Because he got knocked out against Canelo. That Garcia shot would have knocked out many people. That was a big shot. Garcia is a big puncher. Amir Khan was taking shots from Maidana. I remember seeing that. Keith Thurman didn't take no shots from no puncher. He never faced a puncher. Oh, Amir Khan got knocked out in one round by Bredis Prescott. He was 21 years old, man. Who was Keith Thurman facing at that age? Who was Sean Porter facing at that age? Please remind me. And you know what? This is what I done to these. There's a guy I know, and he was trying to say Khan hasn't got this. Pointing at his chin, like he hasn't got this, has he? And I'm like, this was I think a few months ago, like 3 months ago, and I was like, you know what? Imagine this. Imagine Amir Khan, like the way his career planned out. Let's say it didn't plan out like that. Let's say he went on to fight a bum or unknown fighter that we don't know of, and the unknown fighter knocked him out cold with one shot. Let's say Amir Khan wasn't like 120, 130 pounds, somewhere in like that type of weight divisions, like those type of weight ranges, type of fighter. And he got knocked out with one shot, cold, clear, like he couldn't get up. He probably went to sleep and shit. Then another time he got knocked out to the body. He got dropped from a jab. He started laughing. He's like, bro, you're making his chin look even worse. And that's it. Let's say he moved up to 140. And he has a few good wins where he take a few shots here and there. He moved up to 140. And he got cleared out with a guy. I mean, these are all from people of his own weight division, right? Canelo knocked Khan out. Canelo's a bigger man than Khan, but this time, just imagine Khan's getting knocked out by one shot, clear out at 140 by a big puncher, a good fighter, a really good fighter, big puncher. And so, what would you think of his chin? Better, worse, same? He says, bro, you describe Khan's chin as worse. If that happened, that would be even worse. What are you talking about? I'm like, you know what? Put it this way. That scenario I gave you where he got knocked out in 120, 130 pounds, one with headshot, clear out cold, he's knocked out, he's not getting back up. And the other time he got knocked out to the one with body shot. Then he got dropped from a jab. And then he's getting knocked out clear with one shot at 140 by a very good fighter. But a 140 fighter that is not a bigger fight. So he's like, of course that's the last thing. I'm like, okay, you know what? Replace Amir Khan, replace the scenario, and instead of thinking that's Amir Khan, replace it with Manny Pacquiao, because I just described Manny Pacquiao's career to you. So what? Does Manny Pacquiao have a glass chin? That's really what I asked, and he's like, yeah, but come on, man, Amir Khan is a glass chin. Like, seriously, man, you're just talking some shit, man. Honestly, you can't argue logically. It's like if a black person commits a crime and a white person commits the same crime, people's reaction is different. They're very different. And it's the same way. When Amir Khan gets knocked out and when Manny Pacquiao gets knocked out, people's reaction is very different. People think, I told you he's glass chin, this and that. But against Pacquiao, most people don't say that. Andrew Garcia says that. He said Khan has a glass chin. He says Pacquiao has a glass chin. He says Thurman has a suspect chin. And all of this is, he's been consistent. So people are mad when they say Pacquiao has a glass chin. Oh, how can you say Pacquiao has a glass chin? I guarantee if Amir Khan got knocked down by a jab like Pacquiao did, you'd say he has a glass chin. It's a bunch of contradiction. People are really stupid. It's bunch of boxing is just hype. It's the reputation you have, and if something happens that you live up to your reputation, it's all good. Like, look at, for example, Errol Spence. I think he's a good fighter, but people are thinking Errol Spence is the truth. He'll beat everyone at 147 just because people think he beat Keith Thurman straight away, just solely because he beat Leonard Bond a lot easier than Keith Thurman did. He beat Chris Algieri easier than what Keith Thurman with what Manny Pacquiao did and Amir Khan did. Now, let me give an analogy. Timothy Bradley beat Marquez easy. Marquez had very competitive fights, and actually, I feel like should have lost a lot of fights with the actually no should have won a lot of fights against Pacquiao. Pacquiao should have lost a few fights with Marquez that he got a win decision for. And let's say it was a draw, because some people are gonna argue that. Okay, let's say it was a close fight. Timothy Bradley beat Marquez, and Marquez had close fights with Pacquiao. So Marquez is showing that he's kind of like an equal level with Pacquiao, more or less, right? Because they were close fights, whether 1-1 or not. So, and the fact that if you see it like that, does that mean that because Timothy Bradley beat Marquez easily, will he beat Pacquiao easily? Did he beat Pacquiao easily? Some people thought Marquez won most of the time than Pacquiao, and he actually knocked Pacquiao out with one shot. So, tell me this: does that did Timothy Bradley beat that? That shouldn't mean that Pacquiao should have lost against Bradley even easier than Marquez. But did Pacquiao not beat Bradley? Tell me that, because you can't use triangle theories right here. Errol Spence is a certain style that can give some fighters problems, other fighters it might be easier for. Keith Thurman is a different kind of style. Again, and I feel like Danny Garcia beats Errol Spence. I could be wrong. He definitely beats Keith Thurman in my opinion. I have no doubt. Actually, we can all have a bit of doubt because at the end of the day, it's boxing. But yeah, man, that's all I really want to pick on. I actually think Amir Khan's picking because people say Amir Khan's picking Danny Garcia because of this and that. But keep in mind, he also one of the things people are saying is Amir Khan's picking Danny Garcia because he lost to Garcia, and if he says Thurman gets beat by Garcia, it doesn't make him look as bad. But you have to keep in mind, Amir Khan was picking Lucas Matisse to beat Danny Garcia. So again, you're contradicting yourself. So, and I like Amir Khan, I like Danny Garcia, I like a lot of fighters. I just feel like some of these fighters are getting too much credit, and sometimes some of these fighters are getting too little credit. Sean Porter's overrated, honestly. He's the most overrated welterweight since Robert Guerrero. He's very good, but he's overrated. And any of these top fighters, I feel like if they come in, the best of Keith Thurman, Sean Porter, Keith Thurman, Danny Garcia, Errol Spence, Amir Khan, Kell Brook will beat Sean Porter. So yeah, man, that's really all I have to say to the situation. I'm SR93 Boxing. I'm out.